Hey everybody, welcome to the Flow and Flourish Podcast. I am your fantabulous host, Nicole Roan, the capacity coach, and I am ecstatic that you are listening to me today. I am so grateful that you're here listening today because there are a billion different podcasts, but guess what? You are here for a reason. This is not on accident, so welcome to your tribe. If this is your first time here, then welcome. Hey sis, you are in good company. We talk all about what it really means to create work-life balance and to do that by managing our capacity. And we do this in a way that allows us to show up in excellence in every single room that we're in. But it requires us being honest with ourselves, with other people around us about what we need, what we want, what's working, what's not working. And so if that's something that you are looking for, then hey, you are in the right space. If you have not listened to any other episodes, then I do encourage you to go back to the first 5 or 6 of them. They really laid the foundation for what I call the 5 pillars or 5 areas of flow, which are heart flow, work flow, health flow, faith flow, and cash flow. So go check those out if you haven't already. And if you are someone who's been here, my A1 since day one, thank you for coming back. You all are in for such a great episode today. Okay, quick question. How many of you listening knew that June 8th was Best Friends Day? Because I didn't until I did my research, of course. And I'm like, what a fantastic day to celebrate. Especially with me over here talking about sister friends and building a Facebook community and really surrounding myself with other like-minded women. I thought it would be great to talk about that today, but also take a little bit more of a deeper dive. And we're going to be talking about who's in your circle of influence. The world is opening back up. Everybody's out and about, hanging out, getting reacquainted with friends and family. And I'm sure we've all had some time to really think about and evaluate our different relationships and especially our friendships. And so I want to shine a light on that in honor of National Best Friends Day. But before I jump into the episode, I do have to let you know that today's episode is being brought to you by the Balance Booster. That is my 90-minute intensive coaching session where we pick one area of flow to really help you get clear on what's essential versus what's important, create some next best steps, and then put together some strategies to help you achieve those goals that you have. So if that is something that you know you need in this season and the second half of this year, then send me a message, a DM, an email, any of those things. And I'd be happy to talk with you about how we can potentially work together to get you where you want to be. All right, so let's talk about influence. I say all the time, you need sister friends. You are the company that you keep. Things like that. And how important it is for us to be around like-hearted, like-minded women that are going the same way that we're going. And so I want to ask you, and I'm going to ask throughout the podcast, for you to question who is in your circle of influence. Now, don't judge me because this is the HR and coach coming out in me, and I want to tell you a couple of the key things that you can expect as I talk today. I'm going to tell you why your circle of influence is so important. I want to share with you 4 types of sister friends that you need in your circle. And then I'm going to tell you how to find them or to increase the ones that you already have. So before I jump into those, though, I thought it would make sense to really start with a definition because it's been a while since I've done that. And I want to talk about the definition of influence. And it was crazy because as I was researching, the very first one that came up was this. Influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something. I'm going to say it again. Influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something. So all day long, we are constantly either being influenced or influencing those around us. So who's in your circle of influence? And like I said, because it is National Best Friends Day, I wanted to talk about why it is so important that we're mindful of who is in our circle. And the main reason is, number one, because the people that we spend time with and that we surround ourselves with have the biggest influence on our behavior, our attitudes, and even our results. And that's because who we're having conversations with, who we're spending time with, who we're sharing ideas with, all of that is shaped and either accepted or rejected by the people that we're talking to. So think about that for a second. The people that you're talking to, spending time with, communicating with, really dictates what you talk about, what you believe is possible or impossible, and helps you to feel safe, unsafe, supported, unsupported, appreciated, smart, all of those different things. Because how many of us have friendships or family members or coworkers that all they do is talk about things that are negative? How does that feel to be around somebody like that? I know in my own experience, not too good. I'm quick to do the cutoff. I'll say I'm laughing, but my cutoff game is pretty strong. Like if my energy does not feel right with yours, I gotta pause because I'm protective of my peace. I'm protective of my space. I'm protective of the people that I allow into my circle. And so think about the people that you spend the most time with. What are you talking about? Are you talking about your goals? Are you talking about your business? Are you talking about your marriage? Are you talking about healthy relationships? Or are you constantly talking about and listening to, ooh, this sucks, or girl, let me tell you about X, Y, and Z, or I don't know why you think you can do this, that, or the third. So you're either being poured into or sucked dry. And if your goal is to be successful in whatever capacity that means for you, whether it is losing weight or having healthy friendships or restoring your marriage or parenting in a different way, who you spend time with and talk to about those things is going to significantly impact what you believe is possible about being able to accomplish those things. Because I know from both personal and professional experience how vital and important our relationships with other people are, specifically the people that we surround ourselves with, I want to share with you something that I also found in my research. So there is an author by the name of Darren Hardy, and he wrote a book called The Compound Effect. And if you have not read this, then add it to your list. It's summertime. You got time. Or if you don't, you still got time. You just got to make some time. But it's a really great book. And in it, this is an excerpt. This is a section from the book where he talks exactly about this. So it says, according to research by social psychologist Dr. David McClelland of Harvard, the people you habitually associate with determine as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. 95%. Did you hear the habitual? That you habitually associate with. I know there are quotes that I've read, even have on my walls, by Jim Rohn that says you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Something along those lines. Don't quote me. But think about that. It makes sense because if that's the case and 95% of your ability to be successful or fail is influenced by the people you spend time with, you want to make sure that you're spending time with the right people. And that's a perfect segue to start talking about the 4 types of sister friends that I believe you need in your circle of influence. And this is by no means an exhaustive list. This is what I know has helped me, has helped other women that are also highly motivated, driven, trailblazers, all of those different things. So take what works for you, toss the rest. But these are the 4 that I believe make the most impact in our circles of influence. Now, the first one I have on the list is the prayer warrior. You gotta have somebody in your corner, in your immediate circle, who can pray for you, pray over you, talk to you if your energy is off and funky and you just need a pick-me-up. Having a prayer warrior and someone who can pour into you in a spiritual way is so detrimental. And not just one, right? Like everybody prays different prayers and God sends different people. So even just being open to that is so important. I don't know where I would be without my sister friend prayer warriors. Like, I'd probably be in a hole sucking my thumb somewhere, rocking back and forth. It's that serious. So make sure you have some form of a prayer warrior, someone who can speak life into you when you feel like you have no life in you, and help you reconnect with your faith flow, whatever that may be for you. Somebody that can help you reconnect and get anchored in your faith, whatever that may be for you, is going to be vital. All right, number 2. Now, I know I didn't make this up. I heard it somewhere, but I'm borrowing it, stealing it, whatever you want to call it. You got to have you a sophisticated ratchet in your circle. So sophisticated enough to hold business conversations, trade ideas, pour into you in a variety of different ways, but ratchet enough to listen to Cardi B, twerk, really, partake in some of the ratchet activities that we shall not name. But seriously, having somebody who can understand the best of both worlds. I got a couple of sophisticated ratchets. I'm not going to name no names. I'm probably somebody's sophisticated ratchet, and I'm okay with that. I embrace every single part of me. And so I encourage you that if you don't have that in your personality, make sure somebody in your sister friend circle of influence has a little bit of sophisticated ratchetness, okay? Number 3 is the motivator and edge snatcher. I'm sure you've heard me say quite a few times, so-and-so snatched my edges, or so-and-so snatched somebody else's edges. And most of us probably know what that means, but I'm going to say it here again. An edge snatcher is somebody who just gets your whole life right, and you feel like they've snatched the edges off of your hairline, because that's how much they just got your life together. It could be in a loving way. It could be in a, like, I wasn't trying to say it that way, but not even in a disrespectful or, ill-intended way. It's just like, hey, I know you, I see you, and I'm calling you on your BS. And each and every one of us needs to have that kind of person, or multiple kinds of people like that in our circles. I know that I'm that person for a couple of people as well. I can motivate the heck out of you and tell you why you need to do X, Y, and Z, and why it's going to be beneficial, and all of those good things. But because I'm a coach, and because I believe in telling the truth, and I believe in helping you become the best version of yourself, I'm going to snatch your edges too. And you need that in your circle. You need to be surrounded by people who can continuously call you out on your mess in an effort to help you get to where it is that you say you want to go. So make sure you have somebody like that also in your circle. And last but not least, I kind of hesitated with this one only because there are so many different types of women that each of us need. And of course, this is not a one-size-fits-all approach. But we also all really need that one person or a couple of people who are trailblazing that we consider our mentors. And there are so many of these women that I'm fortunate and blessed enough to have in my life. I have Danielle Washington, who's killing it in the wellness space. I have Evelyn Levasseur, who's killing it in the fitness space. I have Lacey Fields, who's killing it in the mentor space. Just all of these different women. I even have my best friend and my sister. Now, my best friend, I've been friends with since we were 5, so over 30 years. And she's killing it in the entrepreneur space. Like, we're not just still best friends because we've known each other, because we got time in history. It's because we literally pour into one another in any way that we can. And the same with my sister. Like, y'all, I got 5 sisters. But this one sister, we pour into each other so much. And it's a blessing. It's iron sharpening iron. So surround yourself with people that you look up to, that are doing bigger things than you, that are doing better things than you, that can teach you things. It's important to have those people. And you guys have heard me talk all the time. Y'all know my big sister and mentor in my head is Patrice Washington. But with her, there are other ladies. There's Marshawn Evans Daniels. There's Lisa Nichols. There's Latika Vines, who some of you may not know yet, but you will soon. There's Cassandra Alexis. There's Coach Candace, Doc C. Like, all of these phenomenal women are women who are doing above and beyond what I am doing, and I am grateful to be in their space as well. So make sure that you are surrounded by women who are doing the damn thing, who are living their lives out loud, on purpose, walking in purpose, so that you know that it's possible. It's absolutely essential for you to see women doing what you want to do so that you know it's possible. And if you are like I was a year or two ago and really didn't have all of these different kind of sister friends or a circle of influence, or you're at the point where you want to shift who's currently in your circle of influence, I'm going to tell you how you do that. How do you find them? Where are they? How you get rid of the old friends and come up with new ones? I know it sounds easy, but it's a process, and it starts with you being honest about, as I say all the time, what you need, what you want, and being intentional about creating those things in your life. So, number one, the first way to really increase, grow, shift your circle of influence is to think outside of the box, aka stop looking in your current friend and family circles. And that's not to say that there aren't existing people who can support you as you grow your business, as you grow your life, as you really just fulfill your dreams. But oftentimes, the people around us know what they know and can really only take us so far. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you are a high achiever and when you know there's a calling and a purpose on your life, sometimes the dreams that you have in your heart might be bigger than the environment that you are in. And so you got to get out of that environment and find other people that support who you are becoming. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So number one is just coming to terms with the fact that you might have to find some peoples and some new sister friends outside of the people that you already know. Number two, since you're getting outside the box and outside of your normal circle of friends and family members, really start to think about finding different groups, different programs, different training opportunities that are in alignment with who you are becoming, that are in alignment with your goals, with your values, with your purpose, with your passions. And the way that this looked for me was finding purpose to platform. And when I tell y'all I was scared, like I've been hurt by friends, right? I got some friend hurt, like most of us do. I didn't want to trust anybody. I was like, I got this. I'm really just joining, to get access to Patrice. But at least 60 to 75% of the ladies that I just named are a result of me enrolling into that program. I made a conscious decision and put a whole lot of intentionality behind putting myself in the same room, in the same space with other women that wanted to do something with themselves, that wanted to change the world, that wanted to make a difference. And from that, naturally, God sent me all these people. It's the best decision I've ever made, the best money I've ever spent, and it was worth it. I went in, looking for some guidance on growing my business and came back with real sisters for life. So figure out what it is that you're doing or what you want to do and find groups. There's a group for everything, whether it's on Pinterest, on Facebook, on places like Alignable. Like there's so many different ways that you can come across other women, other people who are trying to do what you're trying to do. Find them. And don't be afraid to put yourself out there. My husband, Chef Ron, always says that a closed mouth don't get fed. So how can you get what you need if you're not asking for what you need? And if you don't know what you need? So take some time and figure out what you need and then go find them. You can do a Google search for the different type of groups that you want to join. And most of them are free. And if you have the opportunity to get into some sort of a business program or, some sort of a group coaching that puts everybody that you need in one place, invest in yourself. Because you're not investing in the person that created the program, you're investing in yourself. So keep that in mind as you're out seeking to find other like-hearted, like-minded sister friends to grow your circle of influence. And last but not least, I saved this one for last on purpose because it's prayer. Pray for what you need. Affirm what you need. Because when you know what you need and you ask for it and you start to expect it, it comes. 1.5 to 2 years ago, I was the loneliest, most depressed, anxious I've ever been in my entire life. And part of it was because I was completely isolated from everybody. I had no friendships. I didn't associate with my family members. I was so isolated and miserable. And I prayed and asked God to help send me people that were going the direction that I was going. People, like I said, that wanted to make a difference, that I could build true, healthy, long-lasting relationships with. Because I no longer wanted to do it by myself. I couldn't do it by myself. I knew that for everything that God put inside of me, I needed other people. And I needed to learn how to trust other people. So I prayed and I prayed and I still pray for God to continue to send me women that will go on this journey with me, that I can build these loving, fulfilling friendships with. And so I need you to pray for that. Even in my affirmations, I would say, I have healthy, supportive, and loving friendships. I am surrounded by people who love and care about me. It probably should have been number one, but I saved the best for last. So if you want to have these great relationships, if you know your circle of influence needs an upgrade, pray about it. Affirm it. It's already yours. And believe and expect it. I know I've said it a ton of times throughout the episode, but the company that you keep impacts your ability to show up in excellence. They impact your capacity. So what are you going to do about it? So what, now what? As my mentor, big sister, best friend, Patrice Washington says, so what, now what? Knowing is half the battle. Are you going to continue to hang around, kicking the bobos, as my stepdad would say, with people that are really not trying to go anywhere, don't have any goals, dreams, or aspirations? Or are you going to be intentional and surround yourself with other people who are on what you're on? And if you need help doing that, you know I'm here. DM me, message me. I don't bite. I love to do this. This is my life. This is my calling. This is my purpose. So if you have questions, reach out to me. But that's all I got for y'all today. I know I got hot and heavy and thick up in here real quick, but I'm so passionate about it because I realize how the quality of my life has shifted since being open and receptive to healthy, loving, fulfilling friendships. And I have had to release some friends along the way. And that has not been easy because, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But at the end of the day, sometimes you outgrow people. Sometimes you realize that they're just not good friendships, period. And sometimes what you need, you can't get from the people that are immediately around you. So give yourself the grace and permission to seek what you need so you can become who you need to become. Okay? So with that, have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope that you celebrate Best Friends Day today, all week, all month long, because I couldn't do it without my ladies and my sister friends, who I have to thank for just really loving on me over these last couple of weeks as I've been going through the things with my dad. I'm so grateful for everybody. So make sure you get you some sister friends because, man, they make a world of difference. And until next week, I pray that you are happy, you are healthy, you are whole, that you are managing your capacity so that you can show up in excellence in every single room that you're in. And until next week, I really look forward to continuing to be your capacity coach and helping you to create balance between your personal and professional life without ever having to sacrifice yourself, your family, and what matters most to you. Talk to you next week.